Episode 232. Yay! Beauty and the Balls is here. Herpin Harbins are here. We're talking about Nashville, AARPE. I guess my first question is, what was the weather like? Because I feel schizophrenic with weather currently, but could you describe last weekend's weather? Was it snowing or 100 degrees?
100 degrees.
No.
Like 80 some. It was nice.
It was nice.
Okay, it was nice. That's good. That helps, I think.
Yeah, it was nice. We went downtown Nashville after an 8, and the weather was perfect.
Shorts, t-shirt.
Shorts
All right.
and
Felt good.
Yeah. Now, was any?
I mean, it was warm.
Okay, good. Was the building appropriately temperature controlled?
Yeah. It got a little warm on Friday, but I mean, it
in the
wasn't
morning
bad.
it was hot, but they fixed it. The first day, I think Saturday, full day, it got hot for a minute, but they fixed it.
Okay, good. Was the door open?
Yes.
Okay. So if a vendor was near the door, were they hot or were they?
No, that part was fine. It was more towards the back. I think it's because they had the other building, the attached part was like an iceberg over there. I think they had that one blasting, and then it was trying to make the other one overwork. I don't know. It wasn't too long. It was all right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was tolerable considering the crowd on Saturday.
Yeah.
So was the crowd good? Better than last fall?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's busy.
Yeah, the last one though, they had that food, the Japanese food thing, Panda Fest at the same time.
Oh yeah.
So that took away the crowd completely, but so this one was way better. And it was in the bigger room. So there was more space for vendors.
Although they did close down the road apparently at 2 p.m. or something, and so it slowed a little bit, but I didn't notice it. It was pretty slam Saturday.
I think the big difference too, like last time it was the flea market and the panda thing and all that jazz was going on, and we just had like wanderers coming in, and this time I felt like the people that were there were actually there for like looking at the reptiles and plants and stuff. They were there purposely. It wasn't just wandering people, which was nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So how many animals did both of you sell? And I guess I'll start there.
Well, we know they sold more because somebody that comes to us for rats bought a bunch of hog nose from them, Leland. But we sold 5. We sold 5 Saturday and 0 Sunday.
Yeah.
I think we ended up selling 15.
That's pretty good.
And I sold like 80% of my plants.
80%.
Yeah.
That's a
it
lot.
was crazy up until the last minute.
Okay, that's awesome.
Wow.
Were they wanting a specific kind of plant, or were they just casual reptile keepers just wanted to add a plant, or were they plant people?
There was a lot of like plant people there because Jeff, like Heartleaf Tropicals, and a few others, they post in the plant pages around there. So people were coming for, house plants or collector plants, but there are a lot that were looking for terrarium plants and stuff. So I just kind of was all over the board because my shipment of the plants that I was going to get didn't even come in. So I had to go find a wholesale place in Murfreesboro and buy plants the day before.
Were you able to get the kinds of plants you wanted to bring, or did you have to like substitute?
I substitute a little, but I did find some good stuff. I mean, pretty much all the stuff that I got at Murfreesboro, because I had some plants from just the normal stuff, but all the Murfreesboro stuff pretty much sold. Okay. So I'll probably go back there.
It might be easier when you're traveling just to zoom through and grab stuff instead of having to.
Yeah, the only thing with that is like sometimes I like to repot and spray clean it for pests or leaf shine or anything like that. And So I was kind of frantically doing that. And you had to make the labels because you don't know what you're going to have. So you got to wait until you know what you have so you can make
That's
the labels.
true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It worked out.
Harbins, were you selling mostly hognoses or mostly ball pythons or an even spread?
Yeah, we actually sold more hognoses at Nashville than we did because we're kind of comparing it to Tinley. We sold more ball pythons at Tinley, more hognose at Nashville, and then even with the ball pythons, we actually sold a few like entry level breeder stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then we actually sold entry level breeder stuff and hognoses too,
Yeah.
which we just sold pet stuff at Tinley. So it was really weird. It was like the opposite of what I guess we expected. Which worked out fine. We actually did better at Nashville than we did at Tinley. So that was good.
Wow. That's
Didn't
crazy.
see that coming. But
Yeah.
Tinley
I know.
kind of sucked for us, so it was only up from there.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the worst show we've had, but you know, we still sold a decent number at Tinley, but it was literally all pet level stuff, both ball pythons and hognoses. And so that was weird.
Well, a certain major sponsor at Tinley took the like front 4 tables on our row, and I think it's really choked the flow to our aisle.
Yeah.
And so we're probably going to go through one more Tinley and see if that stays true.
Yeah.
And if so, we'll have to complain or see if we can move or something.
See if we can get shifted or something, because that whole row is kind of everybody just swings around it now. So,
but there's zero clogging at the Nashville show. They've got it laid out really well.
Good spacing, so people don't feel like weird going up and down the aisles. So they do have it. They have it done very well, I feel like, and I felt like I don't know. I felt like we had really heavy traffic on Saturday.
Oh yeah,
it was pretty busy. So
we need a third person bad, and luckily my brother came in on Saturday to sell his 5 geckos. We bought 2. He sold the other 3.
I also think though that you probably did better in Nashville because I didn't really see that many hognose breeders, and with y'all having that bright orange thing, and anybody that said the word hognose, I'm like, go over there to the Harbins, and so I feel like y'all had a one up on everyone with hognose.
That did probably help us because Shane wasn't there, Brian Carter wasn't there, Brent Bumgarner didn't come this time, which are all hognose people. And so we just had Bear with Red Onion, which he had kind of high end hognose stuff there. And then there was somebody else in the back. I don't even know who it was. And I assume like Reptile Collective had probably a few, and he may have had some Southerns. Yeah. But we really didn't have a huge hognose competition to have to work with. So we were lucky to actually place more of them, which was good.
Yeah.
That's good. Any recommendations for plants besides golden pothos?
So really with golden pothos, they take over. They kind of take over, and it's really not that great of a terrarium plant. I know that's like nothing you've ever heard of, but like you want to get something with more canopy rather than something that's just going to creep along the sides all the time. So I always tell people to go with like some type of fern, depending on what kind of terrarium they're doing. But like dart frogs and stuff, you want something with high humidity. So like a fern of some sort, or like a prayer plant, those marantas, they kind of canopy over. They look really good in there.
We need to get you to train us up on terrariums because we are getting more and more people now that want to do bioactive.
Yeah.
And I don't know diddly about that.
And the thing is with hogs, we don't want it high humidity. So it's almost like, how do you have a plant in there that doesn't, I mean, there are plants out there that don't necessarily require like constant misting and stuff like that, but it also needs to be a plant that could deal with the hognose digging around in the ground.
Yeah.
So
it's going to get uprooted.
It's going to get torn up probably, but
so there's a trick
all the time.
to that is you just don't take them out of that nursery pot, like that plastic pot. You leave them in that, and then you fill in around it. And then when they go to dig, they hit that wall of the plastic pot, and they're not ripping the roots out. Yeah. Secret. I think they're frozen, or they're just.
I think they are
mad at me. Why are you mad at me?
They're so mad about the nursery pot
Wow, you're
comment.
so disappointed in my answer. I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, they're back. They're back. They're back.
We're here cussing our internet. Like we've tried wired, we've tried wireless.
Like, I don't know what I mean, we've never
Y'all
had
both
this many
look so
problems.
mad at me. I was like, I'm sorry. That's just what you do.
Like frozen, like
You have upset the Harbins.
no, like we just did a podcast last night with no problems, and now we
That was clear. I watched it.
Yeah,
and then some people, like if there's a Serpa Designs episode where he makes a bioactive build for a king snake, and he actually like puts a light grate underneath and then zip ties the pots to the light grate so they can't even push over the pot internally.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah, it's a king snake though, so like they're stronger and bigger. Maybe you wouldn't need that for a hognose, but he does have a build for a snake and a bioactive if somebody wants to check it out.
That's
I like that. We've got a lot of light grate. That's how we make our incubator tubs with.
Is those diffusers for lights.
Right. Or like since you have a 3D printer, you could probably 3D print something that would force it to stay down. And then but still allow water to come
They
through.
brought their 3D printer to the show.
Was that a hit?
Yeah.
I had to. I was behind. I had committed to like some orders that I didn't complete in time. And I delivered the last bag of parts to Jim from Ectothermic Dungeon like Sunday as we were packing up.
That afternoon.
He was holding the bag like they're still warm. I'm like, yeah, they're fresh out of the machine. We're good. Order complete.
Were they mostly the clips or?
Yeah, those mainstays clips.
Okay. Do you have an Etsy listing yet?
I'm working on updating our Square site to include those. I've got to get some better pictures.
Yeah. And then like he's made ARS like for the racks, the thermostat holders for Herpstat. So that it keeps the Herpstats at an angle downward so you can see your temps, you can adjust your temperature if you need to. And so it sits up on top of an ARS rack. And so he's made a bunch of those.
I made them for her. Then we showed them to somebody and they're like, oh, you should sell this. I'm like,
that's what you did with the clips too, isn't it?
Yeah, the clips were the same way. And then of course, I think we sold out of thermostat probe.
I'm out of probe clips.
So we had to make more probe clips again, or probe clamps when we came home because he had 2 orders online. So I
get a kick out of it at the show. Like the little 6-year-olds and below, they know those probe clip things are magnetic and they just start picking them up. Click, 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 click.
That's all you hear is just clicking.
I love it. They're having a good time.
The other thing we sold well is we've been making little 6-quart starter kits for hognoses that has an ARS thermostat controlled heating pad that we put externally. And we have like a little cup holder and little hygrometer and just like in aspenship and stuff like that. And we sell them for like $35 if you buy a hognose from us. And if you don't buy one, it's $70. So we actually still make a little bit money off of the one that we sell to the one of the hognose purchases from us. But we sold out on Saturday. We had to end up making more that morning because we didn't have holes in them.
I had if the little kid knew all the 4-letter words in Tinley, he would have cussed me over one of those enclosures. They were from Illinois and they didn't have their permits. They couldn't buy a hognose. And the little kid had money in hand. He's like, well, let me just go ahead and buy the enclosure now. Then we'll get the snake later. And I'm like, well, the enclosure by itself is $70. But if you buy it with a snake, it's only $35. This little kid's head just cranked over sideways. Like what is this? Like, he apparently hasn't studied economics yet.
Yeah. I could tell Josh had hacked him off.
Man, he was working me hard. Like this little kid stayed around for like 20 minutes and the dad was just behind him, just smiling. And after they were about to leave, I told the dad, like, that was the best line of questioning any young man that age has ever given me. Like he was shooting all the angles, like how to care for the animal. How can he weasel me out of this enclosure? Like that kid wanted to go home with something that day.
He wanted that hognose, but he couldn't get it. So. And
were they visiting for the show or were they just in the area incidentally and went to the show? Because Illinois to Tennessee isn't too far.
No, that's sorry.
That was at Tinley.
Okay, sorry.
That's flashbacks, PTSD stuff.
Yeah, But no, I mean, like that's been helpful being able to sell little enclosures, and we sold a ton this time. We sold a lot at the last one in Nashville, so we're like, we need to take more with us, and
so
that helps sell an animal real fast too.
What we find talking to people, we're answering the same thing over and over again. It's always enclosure. And so we wanted to take an example enclosure that's like your starter size for the juveniles. And then we show them an adult enclosure. So they know, hey, here's what you're going to graduate to. You need this little guy short term. And then a year from now is when you buy the fancy thing and do the bioactive, whatever you want. But we explain to people they do better in a small enclosure. And we say stuff like substrate and temperature gradient, and people look at us like, they have no idea.
Yeah, at least we have like an example, and then we can send it home with them too. Like, here, this is your kit. This is how you set it up. Call me if there's any issues. And like, I'd say our rate of people contacting us 2 to 4 weeks after a show is gone down drastically when we've done that.
Mm-hmm. How many people buy the kit and weren't buying hognose from you?
Oh, we had a couple.
There was somebody that already bought a hognose from somebody else, and they were like, they wanted the kit. I was like, yeah, sure, it's $70. And so they picked out the color they wanted, and they took off with their kit. I'd say that's probably 10% of the hatchling kit sales is to somebody that is buying from somebody else. Now, there's one guy, he bought, I don't know, it was weird. He had like retics, and he was just like a pet owner. But then he fell in love with this one hognose, and it was actually probably our highest end female on the table. It was a stablehead axanthic. And I had been talking to a breeder person about storm cloud maker. I said, well, she's actually a storm cloud maker. And he was standing there listening, and he looked it up. He's like, that's what a storm cloud looks like? I'm like, yeah. And he was like, well, I want one of those. I said, well, we don't have one. I said, she can make one. And so he ended up coming back around. He's like, I'm getting her. And I said,
that's Leland.
Really? Yeah, that was Leland, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. I said, you plan on breeding her? He's like, well, I probably will now. And I said, okay, cool. And so and then he had me write down like what he should breed it to. Like, and I said, okay, this is your best options for breeding. I wrote it all down. Well, then he found somebody else that had 2 double heads, a male and a female, in another part of the room. He had already bought a kit for the female he bought from us. And he came back. He said, can I get these 2 kits here? I said, normally they'd be 70 a piece, but you've already bought from us. So I'll go ahead and give you a deal and do 35 a piece. So he got a little extra deal, but he'd already bought from us. So
part of me wants to charge for her like breeding guidance. I mean, that's what a lot of people do Patreons for, but you know, it brings people back to the table and we get engagement. So I feel like it's a good selling point. I really don't want to hide it behind a paywall.
Yeah.
But
I think it helps the community.
I also feel like though we give all the information, and a lot of times they'll be like, thank you so much for all the information I needed for that ball python. And then you see them go over to the deli cup table, pick up a $20 snake. And then they're like, thank you. That was great. And then they'll come over and ask us, hey, when should I feed this? Ask the person you just
bought it from. Yeah.
When they bring somebody else's cup, we're like, oh, go ask them and see what they say.
We don't know anything
but
about
we
it.
also sell starter kits. We sell those too for the ball pythons.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know, just it comes with all the stuff. So yeah, we've been doing that. We always do really well with that.
Yeah.
$5 tip jar for questions. What about that?
We had 50-50, like they bought our snakes and a starter kit, and then they bought up somebody else's snakes and gave me the kit too.
Yeah.
Every time I've made them, they go over good enough. They help like the people who are like, I can't get a setup today,
or impulsively buy something for their kid.
At least have something.
Right.
Yeah.
It just, I've had a decent amount of people like buy something else and just be like, I need a kit, and then they just walk along and they'll buy your kit anyway, and you're like, okay, it's fine.
Well, I was finding myself at the shows like running up to the front, like wherever the suppliers would have to see if they had things in stock. And then I'm like sending people off to buy these like setup stuff. I'm like, we just need to go ahead and have this and make the money off of it instead of sending them away. And
do y'all 3D print your hides, or do you just?
So we don't put like a true hide in there. We actually put a toilet paper roll in there, an empty one. You're like, okay, you can reuse your toilet paper rolls, and you can put the food in there, and then you throw it away every week. So people like that. And then we do 3D print the cup holder and the thermometer hydrometer holder. And then we actually put like a blackout thing that people can cut up, a vinyl blackout they put on the outside. the aspen chip bag.
Oh, that's the other thing. Substrate. When we say like hardwood chip, they're like,
what?
You can't get that at Walmart. Like they don't know.
No. And so it helps to have that.
Pine pellets.
Yeah.
So with ours, we do, so for substrate, we don't just put them straight on the coconut bedding that we sell. We do show them it because we have the blocks of chipper, right there. So it's convenient to show them. And we tell them, you can go ahead and buy this block, but don't do it for a few weeks. You want to put them on the blue paper towel. Make sure you didn't pick up anything at this show. Yeah, like and it's their quarantine. And then when they're done, they can use that to clean the poop or whatever.
Yeah.
So we tell them that. So we put that in there. We cut those black deli cup or Chinese, takeout things with the clear lids. We cut those out and burn the edge. And then I actually like to leave the lid, that locking lid, in case you get a gecko, because then you can use that as a human hide. Mm-hmm. But we do that, and then we do a thermostat and heat tape, and a water bowl. Am I missing anything else?
Yeah, ours has the heat pad thermostat that ARS started making. It's all in one with the actual digital thermostat on it.
How much is that one?
How much is that? Yeah.
Well, if you get a wholesale, it's pretty good price. I can send that information. We bought a whole box of them. But like, I think you can buy them straight up for like $35 or $39. But the wholesale's a reasonable price. You just have to buy 20 plus, which we don't mind.
It's real easy. And that would be way more convenient than having to cut the strips, put the little wiring on there, and then buying a separate thermostat. Ooh, look into that.
Yeah. Yeah. We just send a message to Jason at ARS about getting wholesale heat pads, and he'll give you exactly what you need.
Is it like a little dial?
Yeah. Well, it's actually got a button on it. It's a button. You actually have number. It has a gauge and everything. So it's not just like rolling it around. It has.
It's an actual.
It has a.
Is it one of the sticky kinds or not sticky?
It could do either way. It spins with a sticky, but you don't have to put it on, or you can put it on if you want it. So
and you put it under.
Mm-hmm. We do ours under,
and they've got 4 different sizes of them.
Yeah, we use the small one because we're only using the 6 quart, but they've got multiple sizes.
That's good to know. I normally make my kits with the THG ones or THG.
Yeah,
because they aren't that hot, so they don't even really get hot. So I'm just like,
that's how these are. I've cranked this thing up to just mess with it, and it's not a very hot pad. It's just enough to get that heat into these little small containers.
Does it at least get up to 90?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The THG ones, I like that they're like sealed. So if they like want a different bin later or something, they just like that was like the Zoom Ed ones. No, pass. They're sticky. It's no good.
Yeah,
bad sticky.
We always just tell them to put it underneath and not in it. That way, it's just easier to tell them that. And it has that plastic layer so that hopefully, if they accidentally turn it to 120 degrees or something, it'll melt the plastic. It won't melt the snake.
Yeah.
Right. Bear is a really nice kit with a next level single rack that fits a ARS 10 tall tub.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah.
Look, Lori's here. What's up?
Hey,
Lori. What's up?
Are they in the Netherlands yet? Weren't they leaving?
They're not leaving.
Well, they did go. She just came back, but
Luxembourg.
He's there now.
Yeah. That's crazy, by the way. I'm like, have fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, hopefully they
squirrel.
Well, I haven't asked them yet, but like they're the Sansonia are CITES 1, so that means the Sansonia are CITES 1, so they can't be exported.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah, I think
bummer.
They're find somebody to babysit.
Yeah. Well, it'll be fun either way.
They sold some of them. They sold one of the east or the west ones. I don't know, and then the other ones, I think they're going to end up selling them.
Mm-hmm. Everybody check out Gray Family Snakes on Work Market so they can move successfully to Luxembourg.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I could not imagine just like up and moving out of the country like that. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, with
Seems kind of quick too.
with 4 kids.
They got Waffle House over there. Well, I mean, I don't know if we'd make it without our Waffle House.
Yeah, we wouldn't survive.
Yeah.
Eileen's getting their Dominican red mountain bow. Surprise. That's awesome. Yeah, we'll hold down the fort for them until they come back. Is what I think. Okay. So what was the ball pythons that were selling? Were they like just bananas? Describe the morphs. What are people into?
People were looking for pieds and
we're out of pieds.
Pieds and bananas, yeah.
But we sold a lot of like clown, flat nose, and I don't know, desert ghost.
Yeah, there was a pretty nice clown combo that we sold. It was
as a pet too.
Yeah, and then a few of the lower end ones.
Yeah, like a normal exanthic sold.
Yeah.
But I think it averaged around $200.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
And then if the people come through,
they're that one for that $700 one.
Yeah, I had a really nice banana combo with a bunch of stuff, and
this guy really wants it. He says he's going to be there Friday with cash in hand. Yeah. We'll see. And then I've got another friend that her daughter wants a $300 one. They're buying it this weekend at the Lebanon show, right back where a couple minutes down the road.
Yeah, they kind of scheduled back-to-back shows.
Well, one AARPE.
How's that Lebanon show doing?
I mean, surprisingly, for how many there have been, I'm pretty sure there's been 3 since December. I don't know. I've lost count. It actually does all right. It's a lot of repeat customers.
There was one 4 weeks ago, and then another one.
I didn't even go
this weekend.
I was like, why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this so much? Yeah.
That's why we had to drop out of a lot of the Tennessee shows, because there was so many.
Yeah.
I feel like y'all would do good at the Lebanon show though, because your stuff looks a whole lot better, and the presentation, and everybody likes the hog nose thing. Yeah. I'm just saying.
We used to do the Lebanon show back when we just had hogs, and we usually did pretty good at that show, but it just always is crappy schedule. Like it's like right after this other show, and we just got back from Tinley. Like there was no way we were going to do 3. We dropped Dallas because we couldn't do 3 in a row, and so we picked Tinley and Nashville to do.
We missed the last Dallas ever.
Yeah. Oh well.
Maybe not ever.
Well, you cursed it by not going.
They're like, we're out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like when they asked us, like, hey, do you want us to roll it over to the next Dallas? We're like, no, just roll it over to the next Tinley. We're probably not coming back.
That is a heck of a drive.
That's a long
I will say this back-to-back kind of works out, because like we said, we're like, well, we'll be here next week in Lebanon. If you want to come there, we'll bring this or whatever, because somebody wants a certain plant.
It did open a few possibilities.
Yeah. So that kind of worked out to be like, well, take a week, get your setup ready, and then come get it. We'll hold it for you until, something like that.
Yeah.
So that worked, I guess.
Speaking of Dallas, though, it's funny because I said I was going to go to get In-N-Out because Troy Woodruff said that there was In-N-Out there. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm going. But then In-N-Out showed up in Nashville, so I don't
even need to go now.
I just realized you said Netherlands. It's Luxembourg.
Yeah. I was going to see if she'd catch that.
I did not catch that.
It's close enough.
Same thing.
Same enough.
Europe.
It's over there.
Jason, when you commented on, I'm a spy on the internet, just so you know.
I am too.
I'm everywhere. To be careful. But you commented on a post on the Show Me vendor board about pricing at shows. You're like, maybe pricing at shows should be higher because our cost to be there is higher. Like it doesn't really make sense to cut prices in half just to make a sale.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Sure.
Have you changed your pricing? Are you still thinking about it? Or what are we doing collectively?
So it depends on the snake and how long I've had it, obviously. And I think that's what I think most people do. Like if they've had it for a while, they're gonna lower the price to see, because it's not selling at that price. They just say, well, if it's not selling at that price, I'm going to lower the price, and it keeps going down until. I actually heard somebody saying that at the show the other day. Like they give it so long, and then they just cut the price, and then give it another so long and cut the price, and it's kind of weird. In my head, I mean, once, like, if you put out what you think it's worth, it should be that. And then, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to say that that doesn't work for everybody, but
you can say that.
I don't know what the right answer is. What I'm saying,
I don't know either. But I remember like a really old Olympus Reptiles. You know, I used to talk in front of his snakes many moons ago. He was like, I price it higher at shows because they don't have to pay shipping. Not a lot higher, but if it's 100 online, I might be at 120. And I'm like, probably should be.
It's still the same for shipping because you have to drive to the show.
No, it's even more. Like, we have to, pay for a place to stay. Then we're eating out nonstop. Then, we have to pay for the table prices. Then we got to, like, there's a whole lot more. So, I'm going to charge more. Well, really, it's the same for us. But I would charge more at a show because it's right there. We did all the work for you, and we're presenting it to you. So you don't have to have a stressed out snake in a box. It's right here. So that's how we see it. And I mean, I know a lot of people just want to move stuff. So that's why they do the sales,
That's why they go to the shows so they can put stacks of deli cups on the table.
These shows are expensive.
And then just hand them out to people.
Right.
I kind of feel
like all day for 2 days.
So they don't have to feed them. That's what seems like some people do. And I don't necessarily agree with that. If you have nice snakes and a nice setup, and you should sell them for a nice price is what.
Yeah.
But if they're not moving, then you're not selling them. So it doesn't matter. And the way I look at it is how much work I put on the back end when I'm having to do online sales and constantly responding to constant questions, invoicing somebody, having to deal with the shipping costs. I'd rather cut the price at the show because I'm there one-on-one and I have that person trapped and I'm going to sell that animal, even if it's for less. And so that's where I don't agree. I personally mark prices down at shows because I want to move as many animals as possible. First of all, to cover our show expense.
Yeah.
And if you don't cover your show expense, then you are in the negative. So you have to make sure you're moving enough load at those shows to make it worth it to go. But also for me, at least, I'm also sharing the burden with him, which is not usually how it is. When it sells at home, it's me. And I'm having to do a lot of networking and back and forth. And I will cut prices down a little bit on online sales. But then I have to sit there and remember, you got your boxes, you got to go do all this crap to get it shipped off to
Luckily,
FedEx.
our hub is right beside
we've got it
Waffle
easy.
House. So
we go to Waffle House after
I'll ship a snake just to get to go to Waffle House.
The other thing though is so we don't mark anything up at the show either per se. Yeah. It's the same across the board. But the other thing is at the shows, people want to like make a deal, make an offer. Yeah. So if we lowered it, they're going to go even lower.
Yeah.
So we keep it and let them talk us down. We will probably always do a deal. No, always. We'll always cut you a deal.
And we used to do that.
$50, and then
we used to do that, but we now don't even have people haggling. They just take the sale price. Yeah. We don't have to do that anymore. And so it's almost like what I've done now is I found that price that I'm like, okay, this is not our lowest price, but I'm going to put that on that thing. And like, if they want to haggle, I'm probably not going to do a lot of haggling on that sale price because I usually just go, well, that's our sale price. And they're like, okay. Yeah. And so like now, instead of the haggling, which we used to do, we used to not mark anything down. Now we're not haggling and people are just buying it automatically. And so we're finding that our sales have gone up since we've actually marked prices down. Now, that being said, you may have a $1,000 snake in your mind and you may have it $1,000 on Morph Market. Well, then what you do is you put $1,200 on your show tag and put $1,000 as the sale price, guys.
Now
That's
she's
like,
getting
uh,
devious.
Let me tell you how it works.
Justin Kabelka did that. Remember, he
Oh, yeah.
on what was it, Black Friday or something?
Marketing
It
pro.
was $1,000 marked through $1,000 sale.
Yep.
Yeah.
And put it sell and put your sale price. And so it's not like you have to like undercut the project or undercut the animal, but make it look like that you're going to give that person a deal, even if it's really the price that you're wanting for it. And maybe you'd still haggle a little bit, especially if they bought like 2 or 3 animals off of you, which is that's when we start giving a little bit extra discount.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
I want to buy 3.
If they want to buy 3, I will reach around anytime.
I can do one too.
Or cash.
Yeah.
Fourth one for free.
I'll tell them, like, there's an ATM right over there by that wall.
Yeah,
if you
bring
want to
some
pay
cash
cash.
back.
I know, Lord.
So for an example, I was at a show recently, and somebody was doing like just super marked down prices and stuff, and just selling them, and you know, I watched him. He's standing right next to me, and
$20.
and then I, you know, if they sold 20 of their snakes for $40, and I sold like 4 for, you know, $300 or $200, I made more money than that person at that show. So I don't like.
Yeah.
If they would have just marked their price up a little bit more, they may have sold just as many snakes or almost as many snakes, and then I may have sold a little more because people like my snakes better, but they like their price better.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the people that just go to bottom price that are just like not even making money. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like if they're selling this ball python for $40, depending on how long they've had it,
That was the last.
they're not even making any money. So
well, and that may be like if they just bought a pack of wholesale for $15 a pop and they've only had it for 2 weeks and haven't fed it, they haven't put any money into it.
Yeah, but people shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
We can't control that. I mean, you know, it's free market. And so
I do like how I think AARPE boys try to cut that out when they realize somebody's doing that.
They're better about not letting flipper type stuff in, which is why we have to pick the shows that we go to. Like we started not going to the heavy flipper shows because we were getting undercut even on our what we consider very reasonable prices, because there'd be a hognose on the other side of the room for $70.
Yeah.
And God only knows what was inside that hognose and what those people were taking home and the mess that they were going to be dealing with in a few months. But they didn't care. They were getting a $70 hognose instead of a $180 hognose. And and that's one reason we don't go to certain shows anymore, is just because we saw that flipper stuff. And then I thought, God, Lord help us, we're going to bring all kinds of shit home from these shows.
And so yeah.
Some of those shows, I'm like, I can feel the mites. I can hear them running across the floors.
I make them move me. If I don't, if I get there and they're like, here's where you're going to be, I'm like, who's beside me?
Yeah, what's next to me?
Who's that? And if I don't like it, I'm like, not going to work.
Yeah.
You're going to have to, can I go over there instead? Who's over there? Like, I do. But that same person was at this last AARP show, and they did not do that same deal.
Okay.
They only did it at the Lebanon show. They did not do it at this one.
It's like they know their market.
Yeah.
They know their market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, look. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a right answer for sure, but I do think at some point we have to hit a point where like there shouldn't be any $20 ball pythons, for example.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any $20 snakes. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care if you're a corn snake or whatever you are. Like $20 that's just like, it's like almost like garbage. Like those people are not going to take care of those animals.
If you go to PetSmart, there's a fancy ball python. It's like a clown, and it's $200.
Like $500.
Yeah, or more. Yeah.
So it's expensive, and so
it's $800 or something.
But I think it's about supporting the promoters that are trying to reduce that, at least.
Yeah.
Or at least bringing in vendors that are trying to like stay within a reason on both projects and species. And I mean, I guess that's why we support Bob and the AARPE, and we stay with the NRABC right now. We're not going to these other shows because we've been to those other shows and we've seen how that strategy works and where they are selling animals for $15 and $20 on the other side of the room.
Yeah. The comment there, it bothers me that you would want to buy such a cheap snake. Like, that tells you what their setup's probably going to look like and how often it's going to be fed.
Yeah.
And like,
they've got a 40-gallon aquarium at home they just found, and it's empty.
Yeah. If they say the word aquarium,
yeah.
Or the thing that died in it like a few months ago and they haven't even cleaned it out.
Yeah, and I'm like, please make sure that whatever you had in that aquarium, that you have thoroughly sanitized that thing and taken it outside in the sun or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Put it in the oven at 400 degrees.
Melt it.
Celebratory hash browns.
Yeah.
Are those good? How are they? Are they good?
Oh, the chicken hash brown melt bowl. Yeah, buddy. That's where it's at. You put about an inch of ketchup on the top of it.
Chicken at Waffle House.
Like a little bit of diabetes and cholesterol, like heart attack all in one.
I get them to hold the onions though. Me and the onions don't get along.
Oh no. Dang.
Man, we walk in the door and they kind of nod at us like, yep, same thing.
No.
And they just start fixing it for us.
That's like something for a Chinese restaurant. Y'all go into Waffle House and like, I got you.
They're like, stole the snake.
Yeah.
Pretty much every time we ship a snake, we get a Waffle House
Tuesday
treat.
night. Yeah. And then if we come in on a weird night, they're like, you're here on a weird night. It's really too routine, aren't we?
Yeah. Creatures of habit.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Since my ship center is an hour and 10 minutes away.
Ooh-wee.
You have to get Waffle House to go.
Yeah, basically. No, but like that changes my brain on like what could even be on Morph Market. And then I'm like very incentivized to sell the things that I'm like, that's $80 at a show for $50 with a little corn snake.
Yeah.
Because like the shipping cost me
So
half
much.
a day's of time.
So see, yours makes sense to go higher for, online. Like,
yes.
You're driving, you said an hour and a half one way?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of gas. What do you drive? Eco-friendly?
Not well. It's just a Camry, so it's like a normal sedan.
Yeah.
But it's like the day I have to like switch cars with my husband. We have to make arrangements. We have to do smoke signals. We have to choose a new pope to get ready to ship.
Probably
It's like a crisis.
Is that it? It'll be during lunch or dinner time. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We are spoiled. We're about 5 minutes from the airport where the FedEx hub is, and then I work north of Knoxville, almost to Oak Ridge, and there's another hub on the way.
But that's the hub that you pick your snakes up at. Like
Yeah.
the one time that I had it held at the what we call the main hub down from our house, they don't typically hold anything there because it's more of like at the airport shipping out.
Yeah.
And when they held it, they marked that it had been picked up. I'm like, I had gone up there. What's going on? And I was freaking out. I was in surgery trying to cut open somebody's dog and get it done, and then get up to the FedEx place trying to stay focused. And I ran in there and I saw the guy's name on his tag. I was like, oh, that's who got picked up the snake. And so they made it marked as picked up by the manager there. And I'm like, why did y'all mark it picked up? It had me so confused. They're like, well, we don't usually do this here. And I'm like, well, why didn't we know that?
Why does it allow me to do that here?
And so now we just have them they go to the main pickup, like the true pickup, and he literally is 5 minutes from that. And he just picks up the snake.
Is that one going to close down?
4 minutes.
I don't think so. Not that we've heard.
No, they're pretty busy. If they do close, then we will probably try to figure out how they can hold at this one around the corner.
Almost every time I go to the Murdoch, which is near where I work, I see somebody from Knoxville that's another reptile guy. And we're like showing each other like, what's in our box? Like, what are you shipping? Or what did you just get? So they're just looking at us weird.
They're so used to it here. I think it's a huge network that we don't even realize, because sometimes we'll go drop off and we'll walk out of the drop off location and there's somebody walking in with Morph Market boxes. We're like, hey, what's up? It's like there's a huge shipping area.
That's how you meet your local reptile people. Just go hang out at the hub.
On Tuesday, Wednesday nights.
Yeah. And hand out some candy.
Card for the next one.
He apparently met somebody at the hub that was getting racehorses in a box. And I was like, what do you mean?
Like sperm?
What?
Yeah.
Little,
Yeah.
little
He was
bitty
talking about
horses.
sperm in this box.
Little
He's going to
specimens,
make a
yeah.
lot of money. And I'm like, what are you talking about at the FedEx?
What on earth?
That could have been a $10,000 box.
Yeah, it made it sound like it was.
If you're shipping DNA of horses, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
Pure brain.
All right. What about other kinds of vendors? Because this is supposed to be the all pet one. Were there birds, fish? Were there more fish, less fish?
No fish. I don't remember.
I didn't see.
There was a guy selling saltwater coral.
That's cool.
That was kind of
I
neat.
didn't see that.
There
There were
was a petting
chickens,
petting
or was
zoo.
it pheasants? What were those?
There were birds.
Birds, yeah.
Were they
But
chickens?
like feeder birds, like chickens and
Like
Pheasants.
what?
Oh,
But I was
yeah.
thinking there was like pet birds.
Quail.
Quail.
They were
Yeah.
quail.
Maybe that's all it was.
Full grown ones too.
They had some
Yeah.
fluffy stuff. Oh, bunnies. There were bunnies in there.
Yeah, a lot of buddies.
there was a not a jackrabbit, was it like a wallaby, kangaroo thing?
Yeah, they were
You
carrying that
look
around.
at jackrabbit, the wall.
Jackrabbit, wallaby, like jumping,
Ludicrous.
bouncing
The
mammal.
jackalope.
Furry
It's
looking
all these
thing.
small-
Reptile people don't know what furry animals are.
Were
No.
they buying rabbits, or did you look
Yeah,
like it was
people were
mostly for
yeah.
fun?
Yeah.
One of our friends was selling rabbits. She sold a lot of rabbits.
The ones in
Okay.
those cages. Oh,
No, these were like the Redmonds that are set around a corner from us, Rascals Reptiles. They mainly have ball pythons, but they had a tub of rabbits they were selling too.
What's the little tiny monkey that's like this tall? Like its head's as big as
Marmoset.
Little
that.
funny face, yeah.
marmoset.
Scott was walking with that.
Some
Were there
guy had-
marmosets?
It was on his shoulder. I don't know if he was
He
selling
wasn't
it.
selling them,
Oh.
but he was just carrying it
Yeah, I
around.
saw one walking around.
I like watching their
Somebody
eyebrows.
walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very expressive.
Whitney,
Yes.
since you know what your margin is on the plants, do you let people like negotiate on plants, haggle on plants, or do you just go like, like, is the margin too tight?
They don't really. I did have a monster elbow at this one, and I mean, I put a price on there, and I would have let them talk me down on it, but they didn't. Like most plant people don't really haggle plant pricing unless, I mean, if you're buying multiple stuff. Like if you're gonna buy like half my table, yeah, I'll probably cut you a deal or something.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't really haggle like the reptile animal people in general.
Yeah, I've had people try to like haggle on like dry goods, and I'm like, you're trying to haggle me down to my wholesale cost. So
Yeah.
no, go away.
Yeah.
No, that's not my margin, brother.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean? I'll just move on.
We had one guy offer us something not disrespectfully low, but it was low. And I said, hang on, I got to go ask the CEO. And I said, Alicia, come here. And I said, he's wanting this for that. And she goes, yeah, we'll do that. It was right there at the edge. I'm like, if I say yes, I'm going to get in so much trouble. But I wanted her to say yes.
Yeah, it was just a hog. It was a normal hog nose. It wasn't anything that we needed to save. There's dots on. You ever see a dot next to a price that is non-negotiable at our table? So he knows that if I'm not there or I'm busy and somebody really wants that snake, he can't come off that price at all. Like, that's essentially my snake that I'm bringing in case somebody's dumb enough to pay that price.
Yeah.
And then everything else is pretty much negotiable.
I have one of those.
Yeah.
That banana.
Do you ever just come back though and be like, yeah, we can do that? Well, why didn't you say, meet him halfway up? Or was it just like you were done with that snake?
Oh, it was such a small fraction of what the actual price was that we already had it marked at. Josh just wanted to make sure it was within my range, and that was actually still above my bottom range.
Yeah, we've got a number. It's like a mathematical thing. Like we'll take a certain percentage off, no questions asked. And he was right on that number. I thought,
It was a female too, so Josh always checks with females with me, like making sure it's not something that I need to be. But it was just a normal hognose female. It wasn't anything that needs to be held back for a breeding program or anything like that. And when I look at it, also like, okay, what am I going to wholesale this animal at if I wholesale it? And then what is my bottom line, like as a single sale? And this person still wasn't even at that point. So
Okay.
Okay, so were there any weird questions or requests? Like, do you have a marmoset? Where can I buy one tonight? Or like, were they asking for specific morphs?
Madagascar hognoses.
Yeah.
Which we gave information about Brian Carter because he's got a breeding pair right now. That was kind of not had that one asked of us before.
It's been a minute, yeah.
And then we always have at least one person ask us about rosy boas.
Yeah.
Every show.
Dang,
every
rosy
show for 5 years, 6 years now. Do you have a rosy boa? Does it look like we have a rosy boa? No.
We've been having red tail boa, people asking questions about that.
They always ask us about boas, and I'm like,
yeah.
Interesting.
I got ball python goggles on.
So this show didn't have any ask this question, but recently people have been asking me about burn balls, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing, and so apparently it's starting to pick up.
What is it? It's a Burmese ball python.
Yeah,
they're mating the two different ones.
Yeah,
it's a hybrid. Yeah, there's a couple people doing it.
They look neat.
They're pretty snakes, but
now on Instagram, I'll scroll by and see something weird. I'm like, what is that morph? Oh, it's a burn ball.
Were they asking about a specific ball python or hognose morph that you didn't have? You're like
lavender.
Freaking lavender. As soon as we make 20, that we won't have anybody ask them about us. I guarantee you.
Exactly.
You know, that's usually what happens. Like, oh, let's go make this. You know,
we bring 2 adults. We bring an adult male and an adult female. They're both 4 years old and in a proper enclosures, because that's the number one question. Like, how big do they get? What do you keep them in? That's 2 questions. Number 1 and 2 questions. But anyway, one's the lavender female. We could sell her at every show 5 times.
Yeah.
Whatever price we wanted to ask her. She's gorgeous.
It's just, like I didn't like make very many last year, but the year before I couldn't sell lavenders at any show.
Isn't that weird? Yeah, but that's what everybody asks us for those.
But sometimes you get the internet dreamers that just want to see it in person and they want to hold it. Like they're maybe not really interested.
I'll just ship them all to you this year and you guys can sell them for me.
Just sell them.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Commission.
The ball pythons, I don't think anybody, a couple of people asked about pied stuff, but not, I don't think it was like anything that I either couldn't find in the room or. Yeah.
I had somebody last weekend ask for an albino male.
Random.
They're like, I really want to breed albinos, and he really wanted an adult. And this is something I've noticed. The number of adult ball pythons just floating around has reduced because I think we've sold through, like when people are downsizing or whatever they were doing. Yeah. Would you agree with that statement? There's still some, but it's not like every table people are dumping adults. You know what I mean?
I think we had like 5 or 6 adults with us this time, and then probably like 10 sub-adults.
Yeah, we had 5.
Everything else, but a lot of yearlings and then a handful of hatchlings.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that people are auctioning adults, and that's where they're going.
Yeah.
Shipping would be.
God, I'd hate to ship those big honkers.
Yeah.
You know? And just even having a
Palm Street auction. Or no. Market.
Live Morph Market.
Yeah.
Live. And
that's what they recommended we do, because I haven't sold an adult off the table at a show
in a while
this year at all.
They'll love them. They're like, oh, this is beautiful, but
maybe this
always wants babies, and I'm like, this one's just like ready to go. It's still got his whole life ahead of him.
Well, that baby's going to grow to that big in a few years, so you're not.
Yeah.
Right. I've seen people like choose between the mother and the daughter at the same price and pick the baby daughter.
Yeah. We had somebody actually buy the daughter, and the mother's sitting. Now the mother was a little bit more expensive. I'm not coming down on her price because she's a proven female that could be bred like right now. But she still was like, if you want to get that project started, just go ahead and here's the mom. So they're like, oh yeah, we saw her, but the male is still young. We'll just grow them up together. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Right. I just want a world to go back where like people are like, I don't know, like adults are relatively rare, and so they have to buy babies and grow them up. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah.
It's gonna take. I don't know if we'll ever be back there, but because there's still just so many males. So even when we were at Tinley, I felt like there were a lot of adults and sub-adults, like more than I could ever remember seeing in the last couple of shows. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like overall, a lot of us are either, I mean, I know we're selling some holdback stuff that's older, but then like just clearing through the collection, like deciding what we're moving on from and what we're growing up. And so I think there's a lot of collections doing that right now. So there's a lot of these animals that are older that really aren't that expensive. And we've already put tons of money into them, feeding them and growing them up. So it's like, if people just need to get them snagged and get on with the next project so that we can start selling the babies again.
This is Leland's wife that bought all those hog noses from them this weekend.
Oh,
yeah. She forgot her plant that she bought for me. She forgot it because she got all the hog noses.
Oh, you got distracted.
Yeah. I brought it back to our table. I'm like, I knew she was going to forget that plant.
The hog nose insanity.
They're mesmerizing.
They'll suck you right in.
Well, it sounds pretty good. Do you think this one is going to be like a stronger fall or stronger spring, weaker fall show? Or do you think it'll be more even?
I'm a little worried about the timing in the fall because like it was a little later last year in the fall. And then now it's earlier. It's the end of August, which I'm like, crap, we got 3 shows in August. And I'm like, August is such a crappy month to have shows in. And it's so hot, first of all. And then
school's starting up.
So it makes it hard on people to get there when they have children. I don't know. And even like with colubrids and stuff like that, we're still just now getting babies up to size in August. And so, and depending on when your ball pythons pop out, you may not even have a large number then either. So that's going to be a little bit problematic come August if that ends up being their regular time. I think it would make more sense to be late September or maybe even early November would be better.
Well, but we go to Daytona. Not everybody in Tennessee goes all the way to Daytona, so that's what makes our August tricky.
But even then, like Daytona, like we don't have a ton of animals. I mean, we're literally, that's the beginning of our season is Daytona. And then now they've got SCRE at the beginning of August. So that's going to be interesting.
Atlanta, 2 weeks later, Daytona, 2 weeks later, Nashville.
It's going to be a rough month. And
it's you're going to run out of inventory, you think? Like that's a lot of pressure.
The thing is, like the babies are just now at that point, the new hatchlings are just getting built up. Yeah. So we'll barely have enough hatchlings to even take to SCRE, depending on when our girls start laying in the next couple of weeks. And then we'll still have more coming out through that month. And so I don't think we'll have an inventory shortage in that sense. It will just be, do we have enough to take that are ready? Like, are they ready yet?
So we can fill it. But I don't take plants to Daytona, but I do go pick up plants. So what I'm going to do is pick up a whole trailer full of plants. I'll just put them in the camper for the Nashville show. Is it Nashville?
Yeah. So if we sell out in Atlanta and Daytona,
then we'll just do plants.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because I'll still do well on plants there.
That is a good thing about having just something else that's not a snake you produced.
Whereas y'all could just, if you run out, you can really focus on your enclosure kits.
Yeah, that and like his 3D printed stuff, that.
They'll be pulling all those toys and stuff. It needs to be.
No, that's not us at all.
That ain't me.
No, but like if he's had a couple of shows, thank God he had that for SCRE. We had a crappy SCRE. And he luckily covered everything basically on all his plastic sales. And so, because we barely sold any snakes, and
I think we bought some on that.
And so it was like having all those sales, and then he fulfilled a lot of sales this last weekend, and then we got a ton of orders on some special ordered stuff for him to make over the next couple of weeks, and so just the follow-up sales on the plastics has been really helpful.
And I'm not saying the toys are bad. I think it's great for like the little kids who are not old enough to have a true live animal. Like give them a little plastic doodad.
Yeah, we sold 5.
We sold. Yeah. So Noah got these the dragon eggs that have the dragon in them. He got an advent calendar for for December. So he had 24 of them. Well, all the really girly ones, like pink and purples and stuff, all the girly ones, there was about 8 of them, I think, total. He sold those at the shows.
Oh, wow.
And he's trying to save up because we won a 3D printer.
Yeah,
But he sold the rest. We sold the rest of them at this show. We sold them all.
Nice.
That's kind of cool.
And he's commissioning art
yeah.
projects as well, which was pretty awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He drew what he like. People would be like, "Oh, well, will you draw me a cat?" And he draws it while they're walking around the show. Then they come pick it up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Pretty awesome.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that idea, like that morning, like he's like,
Yeah, he just
Let's
picked
just
up
do
drawing
that.
like a week ago, and he's pretty good.
yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Does your son like shows?
If he can make like a friend, like he made friends with that Ace's Reptile Emporium, it's a little girl. He made a friend. He gets bored.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to help. He did really well the first day with those drawings and selling his eggs and pretty much staying at the table. But come day 2, he's like, I'm out of here. And it drives me crazy because I'm like, I don't want him to get stolen. So I like when he makes a friend and they have to hang out at our table or under it, whatever happens, or their table or under it. You cannot just walk around by yourself. But it's a hit or miss.
Yeah, hit or miss.
I don't think
Sometimes
he
it's good,
doesn't
sometimes
like
not.
it. He just gets bored.
He's just a typical kid his age. It just gets boring for him.
Yep.
You know, stuck in the same spot over and over.
Bunch of adults standing around.
I mean, I get
yakking the whole
bored with
time.
it too. I can't blame him. I'm like,
Repeating the
around
same
like
information over and over.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't like sit on the iPad for the whole
Yeah,
time.
we just
I'm
don't want
happy.
him to sit
Like,
on the iPad.
That's the worst.
No, yeah, that's not
The
good.
day 2 usually is like iPad day, you know, because we just want him to stay there, and all he wants to do is go buy 3D printed crap.
Well,
Or
did you see
person-
he was like, Mayor with this banning tables that had more than 50%.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that
that's-
post,
Yeah,
and that's a good idea.
he did it. This is not
Finally.
the first time.
Oh yeah,
Right,
you're
Right.
right.
I was like, what's the enforcement mechanism here?
So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
Well, at first it was supposed to be they had to sell like some form of animal to be in the show, and
Right, which would be fine.
they
to
would
me.
sell like one animal
but yeah,
to
Okay.
just pull
That'd
in,
be like
and then
3 deli cuts.
I just want to
and
go
then
ahead and sign up.
8 tables of
8 tables of
printed
3D printed,
stuff.
or just Temu stuff.
Right.
And then they would come the next time, and there would be like one animal, and then they'd come, and then there's no animals. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, I have to show, like the Lebanon show, for instance, that we're going to, is 3D printed crap. Now,
Cool.
to me, that's fine because that's more
Yeah.
people focused on the animals, but people don't want to come to the show if there's just and pay whatever amount. Just
But a
to
lot
see
of the
some
3D printed stuff is 3D printed reptiles. So is that
Yeah, but
does that
it's-
count as reptile?
I think it should be
stuff? I think
functional,
it
like
is.
for like hides and water bowls, and there needs to be something functional at their table, like for a purpose, rather than just a bunch of tools.
Yeah, it's an interesting debate because, like, the craft verification of shows is obviously, to me, it's like an obvious economic response to like there being less sales of reptiles. So, like, what do you do? Do you not have a show at all, or do you have part of it be knickknacks and toys and stuff? And I'm just like, well, if you want a show here, you're gonna have to have vendors
And then,
that will fill your show,
Yep.
and
Gotta
that,
fill
those
tables.
happen to be the ones that are
If
interested.
you only get half the tables sold to animal vendors, then what do you do with the rest of the table?
Right. Well, so
Yeah.
either they need to
That's why
cut
the
shows.
Gutter salesmen, window salesmen
Oh,
start
Lord.
showing up.
Like, really? This has nothing to do with anything.
Oh,
You have
and
to have
people in
vendors
the
and
comments
stuff.
there were
Reptiles.
ragging on people selling food, like jerky people and licorice people. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
stop.
I like that.
We want the
That
jerky
I like,
people there.
Yeah.
You
That's
do not
awesome.
take my jerky people,
I
please.
They have some
treat
cool
every
setups
once in a
there
while.
too.
yeah.
I know, and who cares? Like that part, that's good for everybody.
Yeah.
Guests,
Or like
vendors.
there was a pin, or the taxidermy people, or the pinned insects. I actually think those are pretty cool. Are they alive? No, they're not, but they
Yeah.
are pretty cool. I think
They
those are
don't have
cooler than
mites.
like 3D printed.
Masks.
you know, whatever.
Right. Like there is probably a balance, but that just means whatever show promoter has to actually like curate.
They have to know what these people are bringing, and
yes,
if they're
and
not going to be
right
open about it, then they, you know, like some of these toy people know that if they've got 6 tables full of toys, that if they said that, they'd be like, well, you're not coming in here, you know. So I mean, they're not gonna tell anybody about it.
I think the way to fix it would be to limit the amount of tables that you're allowed to have. So if you have toys, cool, whatever, you can still come in, but you can only have 2 tables. 2 tables or less. You cannot have 18 tables of 3D printed stuff, but you can have 2 tables, and you just need to work your space, your airspace. You know, I don't know what to tell you. Stuffed animals, stuff like that. Like,
they must be doing pretty good, though. I know what our tables cost, even if we get the end cap
I
bundle.
don't know how many things they got to sell to
They
cover
must be
that.
moving a lot of plastic.
well, yeah. So that thing ends up being like, if I had to make up something. So say you paid $5 for a toy, it only took them about $1.15 to make.
Yeah.
Or something like
Imagine
that.
the
Like
markup's pretty high.
it's the markup is pretty high on those things, but it also takes a
It's time.
long time to
Yeah.
even make something. You know that.
Yep.
So
You've
I
got
don't
almost
have the
nothing
patience
in the
to
material
sit there and
cost. It's the time and then paying off the machine.
Yeah, but I also think that to keep up with it, they are making some of their stuff, but I'm sure they're probably importing it as well.
Yep.
Just buying it.
You can buy it in
Just
bulk.
buy it on Temu. You can buy it anywhere.
Yep. And that may be all they're doing. I don't know. That's why I'm sticking with my personally designed stuff. I tell them, like, this is not downloadable online. Only I have this.
Yeah.
I don't know. It gives us some exclusivity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. 2 table limit is what I say. Like,
I like how, like, beside us, we had like Jamie and Carl, like they had a lot of animals. They had 3D printed like toys, but they had 3D printed hides. Like it was a perfect mix. Yeah. It's like they were, I thought what they brought was very, very adequate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's complicated. I would love to go to a show and sell out all my animals.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Yep.
Whatever way that happens. And I think that requires less shows. So if the show promoter wants it to be only animals there, you would have to have less shows.
Less shows.
Because then that would be like, would force like a time sensitivity
like
to the event.
Yep.
Otherwise, you have to bring other stuff to cover the table, and then other stuff comes in the room. Well, I'm glad it was a good show. And did we learn anything?
Waffle House is delicious.
Waffle House. That's what we learned.
Waffle House sells chicken, apparently.
Yeah.
Like chicken and waffles? Do they have a chicken and waffle?
Ooh, I don't know.
The grilled chicken.
Waffle House?
Grilled chicken. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's say goodbye. Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks Lori for stopping by. Everybody should find an AARPE near them and try it out.
Definitely.
That's my
Support those
recommendation.
guys. They're doing a good job.
Yeah.
For sure.
Bye everybody.